How you all doing, my friends? Hopefully y'all can hear me good. I don't have this thing too loud, and a bad pun intended. But I figured I'll try to see if I could do the much awaited review of the classic John Carpenter's thing. And there goes pretty much the theme that everybody remembers from 1982, still to this day. And what's to say about this film? I will touch briefly on this film to start off a little bit. So this came out in 1951. It's one of the films from Howard Hawks. One of those old creature feature films. Sort of a black and white classic. And everything like that. A time waster, not bad. Not bad film. I mean, I'd rather watch this than Steve McQueen's The Blob. I'm sorry. That's in my opinion on it. But it's not bad. James Arness plays the thing from another world, you know, and terrorize these people on North Pole or whatever. This military group that's there, and pretty much the only one thing about the film is that, from what I remember, James Arness's thing from another world didn't really kill anybody. Now that I think about it. So, but it's still a time waster. I enjoyed the film for what it is, you know. But really, be honest, between this one and this one, I will watch this one more. But this one's not a bad movie though. So, rating for this will probably be 6.5 out of 10 for what it is. Now, this movie is John Carpenter's. I would say pretty much first film with Universal. And the talent behind this film is amazing. This will mark his third collaboration with Kurt Russell, because he had worked with Kurt Russell on Elvis. And of course, a year before this, he worked with him on Escape from New York, which is another favorite of mine as well. And Kurt Russell's in this film. Kurt fucking Russell, because he's just badass when he plays R.J. McCready. You have also in the film Keith David. You guys remember Keith David? He worked another John Carpenter classic, They Live. Pretty much, let me just lower that a little bit there, hopefully. I don't get that bad static thing, whatever it is. Keith David plays Charles in this film. Big cast. John Carpenter. Actually, this is based on a story called from Bill Lancaster. I believe it was Bill Lancaster. Let's see, I'm on IMDb here. Bill Lancaster, called Who Goes There? And I think this was more this one was more close to that adaptation, and pretty much oh man, just that score just really gets me all the time. You know, it's very. It's oh yeah, the score is by Ennio Marcone, who done a lot of the memorable score from the spaghetti westerns you guys grew up with. Hopefully, most of you guys did. You know, from the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, favorite of mine for a few dollars more. Movie I reviewed a while back. Once Upon a Time in the West. Great score, man. That man knows what he's doing. I don't even know if he's still running around today, but beautiful score. And John Carpenter came in as a director for this film. And of course, the talent behind the effects. We have the up-and-coming guy who was just coming from doing, I believe, I think The Howling, which that was a good werewolf effects, Mr. Rob Bottin. And Rob Bottin really worked hard on the practical effects of this film. Man, it made the man a legend. And then from here, he would go on to work on the effects for RoboCop, a lot of the prosthetic effects and everything like that. I think even RoboCop suit. And he did some makeup effects also for Total Recall. So we really miss Rob. I really miss Rob Bottin. I wish she can come back and do something now. You know, some practical stuff. Don't go the CGI route. But where do I start with this film? Let's see. I know I reviewed this on my older account. I kind of half-assed it, but well, you guys seen this film already. And the movie opens up. We have the movie knows how to build atmosphere. You know, and the whole thing behind the film, how the majority of the cast is a bunch of guys, pretty much, in this outpost somewhere out in Antarctica, which is very different from the original film. The original film took place in the North Pole. This one takes place in an outpost out in Antarctica, 1982, of course. And it opens up, we see it looked like a real, obviously a real location shot. It don't look like a bullshit set like the fucking turd looks like. And you see these Norwegians chasing this dog, and they're firing on the dog, and they're missing the dog. So I guess Norwegians can't drill and shoot at the same time, I guess. Anyways, and actually the guy who played the Norwegian who's talking and shooting is actually Larry Franco, who I think is the brother-in-law of Kurt Russell, if I'm not mistaken. At the time, at least. And it shows an outpost right there. Now, I remember there was a TV version of this film, which doesn't exist anymore, thanks to John Carpenter. I remember that was one I saw a lot on TV, where we had little kind of voiceover introducing all the characters, which you really didn't need, to be honest. But it didn't bother me, but John Carpenter hates that version. That version is nowhere to be found. That was done behind his back with the studio. And of course, the score's wrapping up there. Okay. So, we're introduced to these characters. We see a bunch of guys there. We have Donald Moffat, who plays Gary. Who I guess sort of because basically it is like a research outpost out in Antarctica and stuff. So you guess you have some military there, because you have R.J. McCready's, played by Kurt fucking Russell, with the beard and the long hair. And great introduction to him when he's just getting some ice, playing with his chess wizard computer. Which the voice of the computer is actually Adrienne Barbeau. At the time was the wife of John Carpenter. And he had just finished working on Adrienne Barbeau not so long ago with, I believe, The Fog, which is a movie I gotta give another shot to one day, in fairness. And of course, you'll be in Swamp Thing, which I know a lot of people hate, but it's alright, just me. But pretty much, because I'm gonna start sweating a lot talking about a classic film, because I'm wearing black. But I had to do it, because I gotta make it all out, put all the trimmings on this one. I think this movie deserves it. I know you all would agree. And he's playing the chess wizard. I like how somebody did edit with that. Like it's, he smirks at it because he thinks he's winning the chess wizard. And then all of a sudden he loses. He gets left out. He goes cheating, bitch, and takes the J&B whiskey that's in the ice. And he pours it into the chess wizard, fucks it up. Then he hears the helicopter fly by, and he comes out with his glasses and his J&B whiskey, and he just looks like, huh? And you have Donald Moffat who plays Gary, which I think the John Carpenter actually wanted Donald Pleasance, but Donald Pleasance had some problem, I guess, with his scheduling conflict or whatever, so he couldn't do it. So he got Donald Moffat. Donald Moffat will go on to play the President of the United States in Clear and Present Danger. Anybody remember that scene with him and Harrison Ford? How dare you come into my office and bark at me like some kind of junkyard dog? I'm the President of the United States! How dare you, sir? No, I know Harrison Ford does it more better. I do it like an idiot because I'm being silly, but... So, you have him. You have T.K. Carter, who I think before this film he was in Southern Comfort. That's another classic film. He plays the cook, Knowles. You have Keith David, who plays Charles. Of course, David Clennon, who plays Palmer. Kind of this helicopter, I guess, mechanic, maybe. Who has like a dungaree vest. Maybe like basically a pothead, pretty much. David Clennon's a fun part of the film, to be honest. And some of these people in the cast are still working today. I mean, Clennon, I think, is doing a lot of TV stuff now. I think the last thing he's done theatric-wise, he had a small part, I guess, in that new Leonardo DiCaprio film, J. Edgar, and stuff like that. So he's in that. I think it's a Clint Eastwood film. So David Clennon at least is getting, still getting some work. I think some TV as well. You have Joe. Let's see. Get the name of the cast and the characters here. David Clennon as Palmer. Keith David Jones. Richard Dysart as Dr. Copper. Charles Hallahan, who's no longer with us, who plays Norris. Peter Maloney, who plays George Bennings. Of course, Richard Masur, sorry if I stuttered there, Masur, who plays Clark. This guy who's kind of a dog lover and stuff like that. I always like Richard Masur. He's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, everybody might remember Richard Masur from Risky Business. He was that guy from the campus, from the college, who was doing the interview to Tom Cruise in Risky Business. He's been in so much stuff. I know he was in My Girl. He was in Stephen King's It. I will always, to this day, remember him in this film and also another 80s comedy which I hold dear to my heart, License to Drive. He plays the father of Corey Haim in that movie. I always liked it. I love that film a lot. You're damn lucky when your mom was in labor. Damn lucky. What? He was just fun in that movie and stuff like that. You have him in the film. You have also Richard Masur, Joe Polas, who plays Fuchs. Thomas G. Waits, who plays Windows. Thomas G. Waits, you guys might remember him because he was in The Warriors a couple of years before this movie. And that's pretty much the group right there. Oh yeah, of course, I can't believe I forgot this guy. Mr. Wilford Brimley, who plays Dr. Blair. Wilford Brimley, of course, would go on to be in the Cocoon films, Hard Target, doing those Quaker Oats commercials, doing commercials for diabetes, well, and stuff like that. Good actor. It was nice to see him in there. Very different role, which is sad to say. Wilford Brimley would not play a role like this that much again. I mean, but it was nice to see him in Hard Target, and people gave him a lot of shit for Hard Target. Uncle Dubé. Just don't spill it. It will kill the flowers. So I liked it. These men that hunt you, are they hunting for business or pleasure? Both. Oh. I like it. I just like going over the top here. Why not, folks? I've been meaning to do this reviews for so long, so now I gotta bring it to you guys. I gotta really bring it on this one, so.